What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the Influence Podcast, powered by iKasi Creative. I'm your host, Jude.
I'm Bongeka, and we are so excited about today's conversation because it speaks about growth, patience, and what happens when you take opportunity seriously.
We have one of the first graduates of the Introduction to TV and Film class.
Oh, and he worked across local and international productions. He's a leader, and he also helped so many people who came behind after he finished with their programs.
Please help us welcome Duwayne Murphy.
Welcome, Duwayne.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Let's ease into it. Quick choices. No explanation.
Early time or nighttime shoots?
I would say nighttime shoots.
Okay. Strict set or relaxed set?
I would say strict set. Because if you are on a relaxed set, people tend to become lazy.
And you might maybe waste time.
And we're wasting time. Time is money, on a set. Every minute counts.
Is learning on set or learning in class?
I would say learning on set, because it's learning in class is theory, right? But you need to be able to apply that.
Get more
Because then
experience.
you can ask questions and they can show you, how to do it. They can show you literally what the cable looks like.
Exactly.
So, yeah, on set.
Okay, good. Big crew or small crew?
Well, I prefer a big crew, because then you can make more connections. And this industry is about making connections. So yeah, big crew, more connections.
Okay.
And that's on per.
Yo.
Clock it.
Clock it.
Okay.
Before film sets and film festivals, who was Duwayne? And what was the life looking like before iKasi Creative Bootcamp?
Wow. Oh, so I'm from Oudtshoorn, a very small town out in the Garden Route. It's the center of the Karoo. And I come from a town where there's no opportunities, there's no access to resources, there is no film industry that side. And I think I've always wanted to be in this industry. And I thought in the beginning, and I think that's so common amongst our people, is that when we talk about working in the film or TV industry, we always think about acting. And then I got introduced to this. And I realized there is so much more.
So you wanted to do acting first?
I first wanted to do acting, yes. But obviously because there was no industry that side, there was no access to industry. There was no resources available. There was no opportunities in the area. I couldn't do it. But then we started creating our own productions. I know one of my friends was an actress, and she kind of had a little bit of experience, and we started doing community music videos for local artists. And I know we worked with this one referent, and he gave us poems because he's a writer, and he gave us poems, and he asked us, I think that was during COVID, and he asked us if we can reenact that poems and then also live stream a church service. So we went and recorded everything, and we used our phones because we didn't have cameras at that time. And I think that's where everything started, and then I got introduced to iKasi.
Okay. So at that stage, did you still film as a realistic career?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I thought it was just going to be a part-time thing, because I come from a community where our elderly people still believes that you must go and study, you must get a decent job in order to have a good life. And I know I was told that you have to go and study something that can bring in big money before you do this art thing, because there is no money in there. And I had to go and study, and I studied. I did what they wanted me to do, and I was like, I did what you wanted to do, that you wanted me to do. So after that, I decided to do my own thing, and that's when I got into it.
You were one of the first graduates at iKasi, right? So maybe at that time you were starting, or after you graduated, or before that, there was no like a real, or might be no real roadmap, some kind of a thing. How was it like? Because sometimes there's no real direction on that. Yeah. How was it? How was iKasi?
I feel the pressure now. That's what it was.
Yeah, what taught you earlier on about that?
I think that was what it was, exactly, pressure. You are one of the first graduates. So so what it means is that people are looking at you. You are not only graduating for yourself, but you are graduating to become proof of what iKasi does. And for me, it was always making sure that when I go out there, that I make sure that I'm a product of what iKasi produces. Yeah,
people can see iKasi in you.
Yes, so it's definitely it's a lot of pressure on you, because you now have to be an example, and you now have to show what it is like to be a product of iKasi.
Is there ever a moment that you like doubted yourself?
For me personally, yeah, definitely. I sometimes still feel like I'm not a good writer, and I mean that's okay. I allow myself to go through that, and just reminding myself every time that I'm not good yet. So choosing the words wisely. There's definitely times where I doubt myself, but then I am a person that believes in affirmations, and words is powerful. So whenever I doubt myself, I replace that thought with something positive, which is affirmation, or using words like I'm not good enough yet.
It's the way you frame it.
It's the way you frame the words, yeah.
Okay. I hear that, yeah, a lot. You've worked as PA and AD, which is personal assistant and assistant director, on very big productions like One Piece and Unseen. And I wanted to ask, what surprised you about stepping into those roles?
I think what really surprised me was my first time when I got onto set. And I realized that there's so many people working behind the scenes. We normally just know a director, a producer, a writer, and an actor.
And a camera
and a camera guy. But then you get a gaffer. You get a person like a continuity person that makes sure that everything stays in continuity. You get wranglers, you get makeup artists, you get sound recorders,
fabricators,
you get VTs. So and I think that for me was an eye opener, because I then realized that it takes a whole team in order to make a film. We just see the HODs, but there's so many other people involved. Obviously, there was food.
What skills people do underestimate that you think it's essential for surviving on set?
Definitely emotional intelligence.
Clock it.
And then I think it's important to have communication skills, because when you're working on set, you're collaborating with other artists or other creatives.
And you get different people with different kinds of
yes, and understanding how to work with different personalities. For instance, my job is to make sure that cast is always ready, and prepping cast and processing cast. So I mainly work with the cast, and luckily for me, I got to work with quite a few big international cast members. But trying to stay humble, you have to be humble. You have to be a good communicator, and respect is very important on set. We don't shout at each other. We speak to one another. You know, once you respect a person, you get respect back. But then also it's the attitude. You know, because it's the attitude that talent can get you a job, but the attitude and respect keeps on getting you jobs.
Mic drop.
Mic drop!
You co-founded Roots Festival, Film Festival, right?
Yes.
And you also hosted workshops in Oturing.
Yeah.
How was it like to give back so early in your career?
I think I've always been a community-based person. I come from a community. I fight for the community voices because often our communities are being left out from cultural investment. And often we don't have access to platforms where we can let our voices be heard. For me, Roots was founded because we saw a need and we had to fulfill that gap. Roots is an environmental film festival that promotes permaculture or home gardening as a tool to healing from all social issues in our communities. But not only that, we also tap into roots in terms of identity, roots in terms of our culture, and understanding that our ancestors used to understand what plants were used for what reasons, and different plants as being used for medicinal purposes, and we're trying to bring back that knowledge and make sure that that knowledge is not forgotten. You know, so we're promoting permaculture in our communities, but then also we take the festival out to communities that don't have access to films, that don't have access to cinemas, and we bring cinema to them. Because our people often just watch a show on TV and that's it. They've never been in a cinema. I mean, in my community, I had an opportunity to go to a cinema, but I know I was about 10 years old and the cinema closed. So the kids that was born after that don't know what a cinema is. I always try to give access to those who don't have access to these kind of things. I remember I partnered with the European Film Festival a few years ago because I wanted to show the kids in my community, and I didn't have a lot. I used my garage, I got social development involved, screen projector, and I screened the films, used my own money, made some popcorn, laid out some scatter cushions, and they had a cinema.
So great.
And the kids enjoyed it. It was not in our language, but they enjoyed watching it on a big screen. So for me, it's always about giving back and not going out and not coming back. I also didn't want to be one of those guys that you hear like, oh, he got out of that community. I want to be that person that they say that, oh yeah, he was working from the inside to get himself out there.
So
That's
regarding that, have you seen change in Oturing?
In terms of industry.
In terms of, does the youth basically, does the youth know about film more now that you have introduced it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yo. So I usually run workshops every year as a way of giving back to the community, because I believe that everything that I learn, I need to give back, and I need to instill that skills or transfer that skills to other young people in my community. And recently I went down to Oudtshoorn and I started seeing these guys shooting music videos and putting it out there. I saw my sister shoot a music video. I'm like, I didn't know you were interested in this. But it was because she saw what I was doing and she was in one of the workshops and then she implemented it. And now everyone has started shooting. I mean, content creation. It doesn't mean that you only have to go into a film space. We're moving into a digital era where everything has gone digital. So that skills can also help them in terms of creating content online. You know, so there's quite a lot of these guys that's now starting out their own podcasts in Oudtshoorn, which is good.
It's beautiful.
And then also starting to shoot music videos, short films. And then, there's now a lot of content creators, which is good. So it's moving. It's moving. We don't have an industry yet, but we are trying as hard as we can to build the industry that side.
What you said where you created like a mini screening in your garage, it reminds me of the AIM Society. I don't know if you've seen them. The Art in Manenberg with Darian.
Spoke to him the other day about it because I wanted to, we were speaking about trying to get him a screen of his own. And then I reached out to him the other day because I spoke to someone from Mobile Cinema. And he said, no, it's fine. I got gifted a screen. And I was like, wow.
And good.
Like that.
And it's about time.
It's about time. And I think it's really about making sure that our young people and our communities get access to everything. For so long, we've been kept on the outside. There's so many gatekeepers out there. And my mission is to make sure that those who don't have access get access to industry. I think that's why it's so important to give back to the community.
Great.
So that we can create opportunities for them.
And how do you, one more question on this, how do you balance, growing your own career while also trying to open the door for others?
I don't balance.
There's no, that is what it is.
My life is chaos. I watched a podcast the other day where someone was also asking the guest, how do you manage it? He said, I don't manage. I don't manage. I think as a creative, you are all over the place. And sometimes I have to bring myself back and center myself. But I do think that it's very important that we have clear goals, that we know what we want, and that we manage our time properly. Because I've got my own company. I've got Dumo Entertainment. I've got Roots. I work with AK47 now, which is a theatre training company. So I run their workshops for them. And then I do my own charity festivals and stuff in the community. And it's so much, but I think it's all about managing your time. I had to learn how to manage my time properly. How to not, because sometimes I overthink things and I complicate things. And I had to learn how to focus on just the key important things and taking it one step at a time. Because sometimes you want to do too much. And I'm usually that person that lacks control over everything. If it's my project, then I want full control over the project. And I had to learn to delegate. And once you start delegating and you work with a team and you start delegating, then you've got more time.
So how has the industry changed you, not just professionally, but also personally?
It definitely taught me how to manage my finance. Because in this industry, we're freelancing. And you have to do a good job in order to do another one. Because there's a saying, you're only as good as your last job. And you've got a job for 6 months, and then you're sitting at home for 6 months. So it taught me a lot in terms of finance management. It also taught me to believe in myself. It was not only just a dream, it became a reality. And I've realized that everything that I want, I can get. There was that one video I know where this teacher is almost like doing affirmations with his kids, and one of the phrases was, I can do anything I put my mind to. And that's so powerful, because that is one thing that I've learned throughout this whole journey, is that I can do anything I put my mind to. And it also taught me to walk into spaces where we were not allowed to walk in with my head held high. For too long, we've been kept out of the spaces. And now we're walking into it and we're claiming our spaces. Because it's time that we start letting our voices be heard. Absolutely. For so long, we've allowed other people to tell our stories from their perspectives. And we were okay with that. But I think this has also taught me, now is the time to start telling your stories from your perspective. One of the other things that I've also learned is to protect your ideas. Because in this industry, people will steal your ideas and they will run with it. Also, the people that support you today might not be the people that will support you tomorrow.
But it's true. Like IP is really like, people don't take it seriously, but it's actually very serious. And people hijack in the creative industry, and film, because also it's people who have money, then they hijack it from someone who doesn't have anything, and they
make their own.
And then they pretend like they don't know you.
Yeah. They might just hire you to come and work on that job.
Yeah. Don't you want to be
just imagine.
Don't you want to be a PA?
You won't be HOD, but
And just imagine that was your story.
Yeah.
Ro, is this play about us?
Storytelling.
Yeah. So what kind of stories do you want to tell next?
Well, I believe in telling stories from my community. I believe there are so many stories that needs to be told, that needs to be captured in the community. My latest story, or my current project that is currently in post-production, and I'm so excited.
Oh, wow.
Because it's gonna come out next year. It's called Uitgesmeid. And Uitgesmeid is a story that focuses on the forced removals of Oudtshoorn. So we know about District 6.
Yes.
We know about the stories of Soweto and all of that, but we don't know about these small communities. And in Oudtshoorn, there was not only one forced removal. There were several forced removals. Because you get Blopunt, you get Vaaldry, you get North End. It's multiple areas within the Oudtshoorn area. I remember we shot one of the main characters, and it is such a beautiful, beautiful story that should see the light. And part of her story is that during that time they were trying to, and that was one of the most violent removals that took place. It was in Blopunt, and she was pregnant. No, she just had a child, and they were protesting against the police during that time, and she got locked up with the baby. And as they were questioning her, one of the investigation officers pushed her, and her baby fell, and the baby died.
No way.
And it was, when she tells that story, she starts crying, and you can see the pain. And you could see how she's reliving all of that. At some stage, I was so emotional that I went to Debonair's because I had to grab pizzas for the guys. during the for night, for the evening, and one of the cashiers was a white guy, and I was standing at this one till, and he told me to rather come to that till. And at that moment, because the whole day I had to listen to the story of how our people were treated, I saw how I was now asked to go to a non-white cashier, because that's what I saw in my mind. And I got so furious that I had to walk out. That I had to walk out and tell myself, it's okay. It's everything that you've been listening to today that is currently making you feel like this. It's that kind of stories that the world is not aware of, you know. So we're trying to make sure that local voices from marginalized communities get the platform. And it's my place to tell that stories, because it's my town. And the funniest thing is, I'm the first one to produce a film in my community. So I felt like I was chosen to tell that story. And I felt like there is so many stories that still should be told. I think once I started doing the research of the story, I realized that actually my own families went through the forced removals. And they never spoke about it. And only once I started digging deeper into the stories, it was other people that told me, but your family were also removed. And they were staying there, and we were staying there. And I realized that it's a pain that our elderly people were trying to hide on the inside. Because also I think they were too scared to speak up. And also you guys have to understand, during that time, there was no resistance. You couldn't resist. So it's trauma, and it's trauma that our ancestors carry in their DNA, and it's trauma that was passed on to us, you know. So we need to tell that stories in order to heal ourselves.
Can you give us just one word to describe your journey so far?
Exciting!
Ooh.
And if you had to choose one word to title your biopic, if you were to make a biopic, what would the word be?
Oh, that's a difficult one.
I love these questions. Oh.
Coming.
You're
Because
never-
now is the time to own our spaces and to claim the spaces. So becoming.
Also, you're constantly evolving,
Yes.
which is your aura is very much like that.
Becoming.
Yeah.
We're becoming what we couldn't be at that time. But now we can be.
So Duwayne, we really want to thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your journey, but also your creative drive with us. We really appreciate it, and it's very valuable to us and to our viewers.
Thank you for sharing your journey with us. I'm inspired. I am inspired.
Thank you guys. I think I have to thank you guys for the opportunity to share my story, to give me a platform to speak up and to tell people, you know, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not know where you're going at the moment, but just make sure that you know there's a goal. It's okay.
You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. It is okay to not be okay.
Sorry, I got really pulled into that.
It's beautiful.
Sorry, in that
It
moment.
is. And I felt like you're speaking to me.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to our viewers. Please do tune in, subscribe, like, comment, share. We will also be posting more podcast snippets on our socials, so make sure you are following us. And we will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you.